Such a long, dramatic fade. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Troy W. Hudson, the voiceover with personality. Coming off a 3-day amazing vacation this week. And boy, I don't want to talk about work. I just want to talk about, hanging out and having fun with some grandkids and partying for the last 3 days in Denver, Colorado. But yeah, that's not, since I'm on LinkedIn, I can't really, justify that. I have to be professional, and that's why I wore my Rocky Mountain High shirt today. Yes, because that's where I was for most of the week this week. If you'll remember, last Friday I was talking about how to prep for the vacation trip, what to bring, keeping the balance, worked out between the work and the being present in the moment with the family. And so I got on the plane in Columbia. Did I tell you what this show is? The Voiceover Weekly Stew? Yeah, it's about vacation and voiceover stuff. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you are here on the live, thank you. I see four people taking time out of their precious Friday right now to join me. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining me. Who is it right here? It's the Shane Meister. Shane Leonard, the big man, the king of production at Solid Rock Studios. Hey, yes, we are friends, and I am proud to say that Shane Leonard is a brother in Christ with me. Thank you, my friend, for joining me on the Voiceover Weekly Stew. Hey, what was I saying? I do this all the time. I get sidetracked because I see a comment and I don't want to be rude and I want to respond. Don't let that stop you. I welcome the distraction. It extends the show. I picture a floor director on the other side of the camera going, stretch it out. And the other guy going, please wrap it up. You're driving me crazy. So anyway, yeah, what was the time? Oh, yeah, the vacation. I left on Monday. Let me check my calendar. Let me go back here and, I'm going to have to check my calendar. I think I've even got a screen for that. Yep, there's the calendar. Let's see. Yeah, Monday I was in studio. I had a Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina commercial. I had an audition to put out, but other than that, the afternoon is free, so I prepped for the trip to Denver, Colorado for my grandson Jack's first birthday. You can see it there. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that's more time than I ever want to imagine wearing a mask in public ever again. We flew United. Went out early Tuesday morning. Actually, we were able to book a flight out of Columbia, South Carolina. Normally, to get a decent rate, back before COVID anyway, Columbia prices, even though it's closer, the airport, the rates are just really high, and to fly out of Columbia, because it's not like a major hub. So you have to drive an hour and a half from Columbia up to Charlotte, North Carolina, again pre-COVID, to get a really good airfare, or drive northwest to Florence, and that's an even smaller town, so I can't quite figure that one out. In Florence, South Carolina. Anyway, Charlotte's the normal hub, and then you get a direct flight from Charlotte to Denver, but that was not the case. We got a good deal on an early morning flight flying out of Columbia. Went to Chicago, stayed at O'Hare for 40 minutes, long enough to jog through the airport to make the connection, which was on time, thankfully. And from there, flew and arrived to Denver late morning on Tuesday, at which point my daughter and the two babies, Claire and Jack. Hey, yo, Hannah, how are you? Welcome to the stew, girl. Nice to see you here. I was just telling them about the vacation, and you, of course, too, about the vacation. So yeah, my daughter escorted us to a wonderful trail site, a public trail site. It was actually paved, really nice up in the mountains of Colorado. Oh, man, so amazingly beautiful. So amazingly beautiful. There's a special kinship I have with mountains, as you can tell from the shirt. But it does something to me. There's something primal in it. There's something that I connect with. Some people are like, give me a beach and the ocean. That's okay. I get it. That's their vibe. For me, it is mountains. It is wilderness. It is openness. Should have been a cowboy. I don't know if I could have survived those days. But anyway, she took us to this beautiful spot in Golden, Colorado called, I think it was called the Big Easy Trail, the Big Easy Trailhead. Part of it was even relatively easy, I guess, because there was a gradual incline, and we didn't walk the whole thing. But it was spectacular. What a way to get there and enjoy. And the weather was just phenomenal. Like 70, 75 degrees, a little breeze. It felt so good looking over the side of the trail. There were natural trails, but because we had a stroller wagon and a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and we decided probably not a good idea to, do that. Too much off-roading. But walking up there, looking over, there was this incredibly beautiful creek, and the skies were blue, and the mountains, again, were just magnificent out there in Colorado, and it was just so enjoyable and refreshing. That was the day before Jack's birthday, and he turned 1 on Wednesday, the 30th, and it was just party nonstop all day long and all night long. This kid is off to a great, great life start. I mean, he was just having a ball, and we were just playing and having such a good time, refreshing, rejuvenating, connecting. And you know what? I didn't miss work at all. I didn't miss work at all. I didn't miss this. I didn't miss the, I didn't miss, what didn't I miss? I didn't miss the studio space. I didn't miss scripts. I didn't miss work at all. I didn't. And Adam, you're right. Mountains and outdoors, they're awesome for grounding our souls. Going barefoot for a bit, well, not so much. There were some cactus out there on the off part of the trail. But nonetheless, I'll tell you what we did Tuesday as part of the party day. We did not take our shoes off for this either. We went to a place called Anderson Farms, a good drive away from Denver, which is where they're actually living right now. And we I went to a pumpkin patch, and it was like geared toward kids, and there was like a corn maze. We didn't stay for the evening activities, which was like a Zombieland thing and like a haunted house sort of thing in the middle of the cornfield. A little creepy. I'm not even sure if we didn't have the kids, I'd have been wanting to do that. They were like rubber zombies stuck to tractors, and just it wasn't my scene, but I could see how that, the kiddie stuff during the day. And they even Claire and Jack even got to go get a pumpkin for each one of them, like as big as they could carry. So they each got a pumpkin to carry back with them. Got a little snacks and just an absolutely fun, amazing day. Again, the weather was perfect. Mountains on the one day, pumpkin patches, and hanging out with the family on the next day and into the party evening. It just went on. The toys just kept coming. And I think Claire got as many gifts as Jack. It's nice to know nice to be connected to the birthday boy. She's 2, almost 3. And she's just, she's amazing. She's something else. And and then Wednesday, that was Wednesday. Thursday, it was time to hop back on the plane, early afternoon flight, and got back about 9, 10 o'clock last night. Now, I will tell you one thing I did miss, and that was the 2 golden retrievers. And I wish Watson and Ellie could come in here. If you haven't used a service, if you don't have a sitter or a regular person that could come watch your dogs, I highly recommend finding a reliable, good sitter on rover.com. Rover! ROVER.com. If you're headed out of town for more than a day. This was like, say, a 3-day trip. The last time I used these folks, the same sitters on Rover, very highly rated, about a 20, 30-minute drive from my house. Dropped the retrievers off there last Christmas, I think it was, and they did a phenomenal job. Sent pictures every few hours on their walks, and them laying in the house and playing with toys and everything. So it gives you that sort of, that good feeling they're being taken care of. And it's a little more personal, I think, than a kennel, and far less expensive. Nothing against kennels if that's what you're doing. It's kind of like the Uber of kennels, so to speak, rover.com. And of course, Rover gets a cut, but it's all done through the app. And so it's really cool to do that. And again, if you're going on vacation, taking a break from your voiceover business or whatever business, having the Goldens there was left me with a good sense of assurance. They were being taken care of, because I did miss the retrievers. That's what I was alluding to. The very day, within a few hours of needing to bring the pups out there, Ellie, the sweet girl Ellie, strained or sprained something in her left leg. She's okay now, but I had to take her to the vet because I didn't want to, drop her off, not knowing if she was okay. It was not broken. The vet said, here's some little puppy Advil for any pain relief. And so Ellie basically couch potatoed it for a few days while she was at the Rover Sitters. And so upon my return, she was not limping. She was having a ball. I woke them up. They were quite content without me being there. But I picked them up last night and got them home about 10:30 or 11 after getting back to Columbia around 9:30, somewhere in there. So I knew that today, the first day back, was going to be quite the adventure. And coming back from a 3-day week vacation, which is right in the middle of the week, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and coming back on Friday is really bizarre. And normally it's you plan something like that, or I do. You try to span it over a weekend. I try to span it like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or even longer. You try to make those 2 days where you normally are not messing up people's business schedules, and try to make that work. This was unusual because coming back from a 3-day vacation that's in the middle of the week, it was bizarre. Did I mention I hated wearing the mask that whole time? I've never worn a mask that long, and I really, really feel compassion for you folks that do have to wear them for your jobs. The flight attendants, the pilots, the airport staff, just phenomenal. And it was very safe, very clean, felt really comfortable. Didn't have any passengers wigging out and like, I will not wear my mask on the plane. It was kind of silly, however, because you'd hear the announcement come over about social distancing on the plane and in the airport, and yet they're seating you right there next to people on a fully packed plane. I don't know. Go figure. We kept our mask on, obviously, except when we would drink, and it was like this silly little thing of like, and put it back up, and we had our Chick-fil-A on the plane. Yeah, we were those people. We were those people who brought the food on the plane right before it boarded, so everybody was smelling our Chick-fil-A food. This was last night for lunch, early dinner, something like that in Chicago. And yeah, we were those people. Felt really important, and eyes upon you like, yeah, where's the Chick-fil-A? I didn't see the Chick-fil-A. It's like the early morning coffee drinker that has this big mug of coffee from some fancy place, and you're wondering, I didn't see that. Where did you get the coffee? And you're smelling it, and you're going, I wish I was that guy. But anyway, we were those people. So yeah, the mask thing was the biggest inconvenience. But again, we felt pretty good that they were keeping things organized, except for the silly social distancing remarks, which didn't seem fitting since you were literally elbow to elbow with strangers the whole time. Hey, Roger Leopardi, thank you for stopping in to say have a nice weekend. Sir, you have a nice weekend. I missed you guys Wednesday, by the way. But as I was saying, we were partying, man. We were partying with a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. There were toys on the floor. Somebody brought wine and somebody brought donuts. The kids did not have the wine, but they did have a donut and they did have some awesome birthday cake. But I'm digressing, as I tend to do when I get sidetracked by a very friendly comment from you folks out there watching, taking your valuable time out of your Friday afternoons. So yeah, the thing about coming back from that 3-day holiday is, thank you. Coming back from the 3-day holiday was trying to catch up on everything. I did have my phone with me. I was connected, but I was not tethered. I was not willing to allow that to overshadow the reason I was there, which was to hang out, have fun, have some quality time with grandkids and daughter and son-in-law. And so that was the priority. But again, if you're self-employed, then you know that you do have to strike a balance. You do have to be sensitive. It's not just enough, as I did last week, to send out an email message and explain to folks, hey, I'm going to be out of the loop. I don't want this to inconvenience you. Well, there were a couple of times where they were inconvenienced this past week, and I was not able to address it immediately or quick enough, and I had to defer, and say, gosh, I really wish I could take care of this for you, but I'm out of studio. Some knew, some didn't. And, I hate letting people down, especially clients that are that count on you, and they're regular, wonderful people that you work with on an ongoing basis. But that did happen a time or two, unfortunately. But I was able to communicate at least in and around the events. And so that was the important thing. But when you get back and you got all these messages, I'm replying in the airport and saying, thanks, I'll be back on Friday, or I'll check in Thursday night, or I'll send you that bid or that offer, I'll send you that audition file, or I'll make sure that's done by the end of Friday, which is it's the end of Friday. And I actually think I got all my stuff knocked out today. But catching up the first probably 2 hours of this morning. I did not try to do it last night because I was too exhausted. And the puppies just wanted time with me, which was kind of cool. They were very affectionate. They actually did miss me after they'd been catered to and loved on and taken care of. They remembered who I was. They called me by name. I won't tell you what they called me, but they did remember me, which was kind of cool. So the emails, the projects, catching up, what was that note? I hate it when I can't read my own notes. Oh yeah, the most important part was not trying to, and this is something I've been guilty of in the past, coming back from a break or vacation and trying to squeeze all those messages in and respond to everybody and look at the calendar and, I'm like, I want to make sure I get everybody covered. I want to make sure I get everybody taken care of. I want to promise everybody that on Friday when I get back, I'll take care of all of them. Do not, this is something I learned, telling myself, preaching to the choir, preach it! Do not try and over-promise and over-deliver too much on that first day back. You're adjusting, you're in communication mode, you're in catch-up mode. I tend to be rushed and trying to make sure everybody's happy. And so don't try to over-deliver everything in one day. And I didn't. I was smarter this time along. And so I did what I could. I had some small projects and a couple of revisions, a couple of longer ones this afternoon. And then what I did was I scheduled the other stuff for Saturday, and anything that goes beyond Saturday, my ability to do that on Saturday, I will roll into Sunday. So I will make sure that everybody gets taken care of. And I work for some amazing, very patient and understanding folks. And it's crazy how just a polite note to just letting them know you appreciate their patience and understanding goes a very long way to just being a nice, courteous thing to do first, but just making sure they know you respect them and their time, and that's something I definitely do. So again, keeping it in balance when you get back, not trying to squeeze everything into the 3 days that you were out of the loop and doing your thing. But I did notice something today. Getting back into the VO groove, the first couple of projects, because I guess I was coming off the communication mode of typing and texting and making sure everybody was taken care of, and I was like, okay, that part's done, and now I can jump onto the calendar part of the production. I felt myself initially, it's weird, but it was like, I think I was still like the adrenaline was going. I was like, okay, I'm back in the saddle. Now here we go. Y'all ready? Let's go. And it was like, the starting line shot went off, and I was just like, blah, 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 and I was like, whoa, slow down, hot dog. You look at the script here and look at the directions, and don't just start spitting out the words. That's not what a voice actor does, regardless of the content. So I had to slow down and look at what I was doing, and then kind of adjust and go, okay, I'm not overdoing it. I'm not trying to speed read here. Bizarre that after 3 days of getting out of that groove, I'd liken it to maybe a ball player on a sports field. If they're in it every day, or an athlete, if they're doing it every day, I don't know why I'm using a sports metaphor, but if you're doing it every day, I'd like to think doctors don't have to do that, or pilots don't have to do that. But for me as a voice actor, I really did. I felt like I was like, the rhythm wasn't quite right. But after 2 or 3 scripts and just kind of practicing without actually recording, I felt like I'd leveled off. I had focused on the copy and was actually communicating what I was reading and not just speed reading to knock it out and get to the next thing so I could get everybody, which would have been, a bad thing to do. So I was able to figure that one out. Something else that, because this is actually, now it's like, the 2nd of October? Yeah, welcome to October, the first voiceover weekly stew of October. Yes. So September was a good month, but normally the last couple of days I'm getting my invoices, worked up, and because they like it when you work them up. And so, getting everything organized paperwork-wise, just doing kind of bookkeeping stuff, because I was not here, and that's the last few days, and, the first of the month rolled in yesterday, and I was not doing things. There are clients that aren't getting invoices yet, and so just having that admin part taken care of, again, is that lagging behind, and I'll get that sent out. I had notes like invoice this client, 1, 2, 3, 4 invoices I need to send out, and it's not going to get done today because immediately following this, I am going out to hike because I was too worn out to do it this morning. And for those of you who know or care, I believe it is day 54. 54? Yeah, it's day 54 of my 56-56 challenge, which I did do while I was in Denver. I got up at 5:30 in the morning, hit the gym, we got on the treadmill, and knocked out 3 to 3.5 miles each day, and then just kind of kept track the rest of the time. So I did do that, if you're interested in that at all. But again, that whole work-life balance thing I've talked about before. So yeah, so catching up on invoicing is another thing that you have to be conscious of if you're going to do a trip near the end of the month. And for me, because I don't farm out that stuff, I've got to be the one sending out the invoices. So again, it's like this today and this weekend, more so this weekend, is going to be me catching up. So by the time Monday comes around, which will be the 3rd, 4th, 5th of October, I'm not still playing catch up. I am caught up. I am ready. And everybody knows that I am back in the groove, just pedaling my happy little feet off and talking good stuff in this old Sennheiser 416. So yeah, the invoicing, kind of a big deal because Papa likes to eat, and it is Friday. So Friday, after the hike, I'm going to go treat myself to something. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So working this weekend, making sure I miss a reply or a promise, messages to reply to. I really do have to go back on the phone and on the computer now, and to make sure that I didn't promise something to somebody that I could have missed, and that would be horrible. Especially, not even just for a regular client, that would be awful. But also just for any new clients, potential clients, you don't want to miss. You don't want to, have something fall in the cracks. So while somebody likened the vacation to sharpening your saw, and I'll throw out the credit to James Cross, the senior vice president now of brand design at Energy World Net. Those guys are something else. They had a big major logo brand rollout this week, and James is the man. He is the man. Good buddy, and I was actually in Texas last year, this time, working as the MC on their big event. It was actually, I think it was October 1st or 2nd when we actually did that. I believe it was. And so a year ago, I was in Dallas doing that at the Texas Motor Speedway, MCing, and for Energy World Net. And then this year, at the same time, I'm in Denver. Who knows where I'll be next year? The plan is a changing. All that will be made clear in 2021. Anyway, James Cross gets credit for the sharpening your saw, which is his way of saying recharging, regenerating, focusing on family time. Woohoo! That's right, Viv. Another proud employee at Energy World Net. You guys, big shout out. I love you guys. Use Texas people or something else. Viv is one of the people I work with at EWN. Can I still say EWN, or is it officially Energy World Net? I can't quite make out how the brand is supposed to be referenced. I'll just say Energy World Net because everybody knows that. EWN, if I say it too quick, it's like EWN, EWN, EWN. No, Energy World Net. But you can't miss that. These guys are phenomenal. Safety training, presentations, changing the way safety is done and handled in the pipeline industry, and I think beyond in the energy field. Viv is one of the writers and coordinators that I work with. She sends me scripts, and I send them back as I talk into this thing, and I say stuff like, be careful. I say a lot more than that because I like doing e-learning so much, and I like doing it especially with Energy World Net. No, this is not sponsored. No, I'm just telling you, you got to take care of the folks that take care of you, and that's the truth, and they do so much and have meant so much to me in my career. I actually still have the little stress balls. Happy, goofy, and angry. Sitting right over here on my one of my speakers, or as we say in voiceover land, monitors. Same thing. Don't be pretentious. Just have fun. Where was I at? I have no idea. I'm just having a ball today. Let me check my notes. Thank you, Viv. Yeah, those things are pretty cool. Yeah, so following up on making sure I'm not missing anything. James Cross was the credit goes to him saying, making sure I sharpen my saw, which is just his way of saying, you just got to sharpen your saw. My saw is sharpened. My saw is sharpened and my saw is sharpened, which, is an interesting thing for a safety company to make reference to, because you best be careful with that sharp saw. You got to know how to use it. You do. And yes, I did sharpen my saw. I am recharged. I'm just fired up and ready to go. I'm mostly just sharing the transitional part today of how I go from vacation mode to like decompressing from that, or putting that saw to work after, I don't know where this analogy is going, putting that saw to work on the wood that's coming down the line, or the tree that's no, we won't cut down any new trees. We'll just use the ones that are already on the line. And it's knowing how to address it. It's knowing that you're focused. You are on track. You are ready to cut some wood, baby. Sharper is safer. Sharper, I love hanging out with smarter people than me, and there's a whole lot of them. And this is one of them. Tammy, thank you. Sharper is safer. It is true. Sharper is safer because, if you're cutting with a dull knife, if you're dull and you're kind of burned out or tired, I know where I'm going with this. I know I'm where I'm, stick with me. Yeah, if you're dull and kind of energy's low, but then you go on a vacation, you go on a break, you do something different, you do something adventurous, you party with a 1 and 2 year old in Denver, Colorado, in the Rocky Mountain High, baby. Then you come back and you're just like, oh, you're so in love with life. You miss them, but you got all this energy, and you put on the first mountain shirt you see, and you're just there, baby. You're just there. You're so excited. You got good memories. You got a phone full of pictures, and you just have great stories to tell. And so, yeah, I'm sharpened, I am ready, and I'm transitioned. And so the last thing I want to do is be so excited and happy that I forget that I, texted somebody or replied on my phone to somebody, 2 days ago and said, I will absolutely take care of that for you. I'm traveling on the road right now, but I'll take care of that on Friday. And then Friday comes around and goes, and then you realize you messed up, you screwed up, you didn't do it, and then you're like, oh, I should have remembered that, which is why you jot things down in your notes or reminders or calendar or whatever else in more than one spot, hopefully, so you'll get a reminder to actually follow up on that immediately after you make the promise. Because if you're like me, you're just like, oh yeah, oh absolutely, you're sincere at that moment, but sometimes, you get sidetracked and you're like, oh, Absolutely. Let me play with that toy. For me, that was my thing this past week. Or just anything, because, we ate good, we partied good, we played good, we had a good time. I want to share something with you totally off this subject. Let's see, where is it at? Yeah. I worked on a project. Let me pull up that's not it. That's not it either. Let me share. Oh, yeah, I worked on a project, I guess it was about a year ago, actually. It started on a project for a gentleman named Richard A. Let me make sure I get this right. Radicchia. Richard A. Radicchia, spelled Radoccia. He wrote a book called We Are All Americans, and it's about the American Civil War being retold. And I want to play a segment. There's a long bit of music. But basically what it is, I do part of the narration part, but then there's other characters that come in there, and I'm hopefully not going to get any feedback on this, meaning feedback with the sound, but I'm going to go ahead and start it and let you hear. I started this last year, and then he had some changes, and this book called We Are All, the graphic will be on the screen in just a minute, We Are All Americans, The American Civil War Retold by Richard A. Radicchia, is available on Amazon, as I understand it, obviously in audiobook format too. He came to me with last-minute changes a year later and said we need to alter some things, so I worked on that with him. And so I believe it is officially released, and he said, absolutely, you can share it, so here we go. That is the cover, and again, I hope I'm not getting feedback. I can't hear it. We Are All Americans, The American Civil War Retold by Richard A. Radicchia, available on Amazon currently. That's what he told me. I am just absolutely mesmerized by that picture. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Prologue, the 1850s. The 1850s began with the passage of the Fugitive Slave Act as part of the Compromise of 1850 that sought to quell sectional discord and keep the Union intact. The act required officials and citizens of free states to cooperate in the return of escaped slaves. For those Americans at the silent center of the slavery question, it forced them to support slavery in their own supposedly free backyards. The act was so emotionally contentious that it helped the abolitionist movement gain considerable traction among a wide swath of Northerners. Taking a cue from Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience, 1849, many free states enacted personal liberty laws or other devices to effectively nullify this federal law. The conscience of the North began to move towards abolitionism. In 1852, Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin gave the movement a shove by personifying the cruelty of slavery. It sold 300,000 copies in its first year, the equivalent of what would be 5 million today. The United States would never be the same. Frederick Douglass was an escaped slave. With a gift of oratory and literary eloquence, Douglass became an international celebrity speaking in Ireland and Britain. He returned to the U.S. in 1847 to save his brethren in bondage through speeches and anti-slavery publications. In 1852, the ladies of the Rochester Anti-Slavery Sewing Society invited Douglass to deliver an Independence Day address. Called the What to the Slave is the 4th of July speech, it is to this day regarded as one of the great speeches in American history.
Fellow citizens, I am not wanting in respect for the fathers of this republic. The signers of the Declaration of Independence were brave men. They were great men. I will unite with you to honor their memory. Your fathers staked their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor on the cause of their country. Their solid manhood stands out the more as we contrast it with these degenerate times. I do not hesitate to declare with all my soul that the character and conduct of this nation never looked blacker to me than on this 4th of July. Fellow citizens, pardon me and allow me to ask, why am I called to speak here today? What have I, or those I represent, to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? The blessings in which you this day rejoice are not enjoyed in common. The rich inheritance of justice, liberty, prosperity, and independence bequeathed by your fathers is shared by you, not by me. The sunlight that brought life and healing to you has brought stripes and death to me. This 4th of July is yours, not mine. You declare before the world and are understood by the world to declare that you hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and yet you hold securely in a bondage which, according to your own Thomas Jefferson, is worse than ages of that which your fathers rose in rebellion to oppose, a 7th part of the inhabitants of your country. Whether we turn to the declarations of the past or to the professions of the present, the conduct of the nation seems equally hideous and revolting. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him, more than all other days in the year, the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham, your boasted liberty an unholy license, your shouts of liberty and equality hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings are to him mere bombast, fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy.
So that's an excerpt from We Are All Americans, the Civil War Retold. Powerful actor doing the voice of Frederick Douglass right there. And I was the narrator. There's more to it after that, but it's all strung together. The client sent me the full file, so I did not take time to scope it out. There's Ellie. She is doing quite well. She's not limping. She's doing absolutely great, if I didn't mention that. Upon my return last night, she wasn't limping. She is fully recovered. She is doing well. So if you were concerned about that, hearing the rest of the puppy story, there it was. I had another project to share, but I actually just got an email from a client, which is why I was looking down, not trying to be, disrespectful or anything. But the project I was going to share, I was told they had to do another edit on it. So the client had sent me a link. The editor, producer had sent me a link on Vimeo to play the clip, and I went to do it just before I went on the live. And it turns out the link was broken. It didn't work because the client they did the video for, that I did the voiceover for the video, said they had to make a change. So that kind of threw me off, and I was looking down, responding to that and going, oh, okay, gotcha. So that won't happen, which is why I kind of let the other part, the audiobook, go a little longer. I love being part of historical stuff like that. Powerful narrative words. We Are All Americans. Let me make sure I got that right again. We Are All Americans, The American Civil War Retold by Richard A. Radicchia. So, yeah, good stuff. I think, unless there's any questions about this stuff I'm doing, I think I'm going to go ahead and exit stage. Which way is the door? The door is actually this way, and I'm going to the state forest to go on a 5.6 mile hike to wrap up day 50. By golly, I need to figure this out. I keep saying it is day 50 something, and it's 56 days of 5.6 miles on average a day. or 5.6 mile hikes a day for 56 days straight. And if I can find I do it on Instagram. I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to get this right. And this was day 52, which was, 3 days ago. So that would have been Tuesday. So day 53 is Wednesday. Day 54 is Thursday. Day 55 is today. Okay. So day 55 hike is going on today in just a few minutes. I'll be leaving here and going to do that. And then the day 56 hike will be the 56-56 challenge of the hiking every day. Rain or shine, injured or not, will take place tomorrow. And I don't know, to celebrate, I'll not walk on Sunday. I don't know. Take a break from that for at least a couple of days and do something else to try to keep myself focused and balanced on the physical stuff, because, sitting here all day is not the healthiest thing in the world. And I've decided something else before I go. So I've decided, I think, that I'm going to wait on the stand-up desk, because right now I'm in the mode of, because of what's going to take place next year, I don't want to add more stuff to the process of when I have to leave here. And I don't want to spill the beans, but I don't want to accumulate more stuff to have to move more stuff. You just spill the beans. I didn't spill the beans. And if I did, I'm sorry if it was, it messed up your carpet. But I'm not going to go any further with that. I just want to say, I was talking about getting a stand-up desk for, healthier stuff. And I'm like, I've got everything in here set up. That means I'd have to tear down. I'd have to set it up. And then in a little while, I'd have to break it down and move it. And I don't want to do it. I'm too lazy to do that. Again, physical. Got to be physical. That's not the kind of physical I want to do, is moving furniture. I'll probably stay with this configuration I've got unless something, stops working, and then I'll do something else. But yeah, that's about all I got for this week's VoiceOver Weekly Stew. Did I have music picked out for this? Did I have anything picked out for this? I know I get feedback when I play a source through here. But I'm going to go with that because, that's just part of the deal with the way the sound is. Because I have external speakers, monitors, eCam that I'm using. It's kind of a weird echoey thing because I'm hearing it and it's hearing it come through here and the music is playing, and I can't do anything about that. Anyway, Kazoo says, y'all have a good weekend. And I will. Did you notice the lava lamp in the back? Some people commented and saw it. It's really bizarre. It looks like look at that alien. It's like doesn't it look like an alien head right there? And that's the eye. And that's like an arm. And another arm. And that's the body. And that's the glowy base. And that's, where's it at? But not to worry. It's all friendly. It's all friendly. It is. Okay, you guys be well, be blessed, be a blessing to somebody. We'll see you again next Friday on the VoiceOver Weekly Stew.